okay, I've put the paste that we've just made in the smaller gun, air gun. This is regulator, standard sort of air gun. Now I'm going to make these 8x12 nuggets. Can't see the point in making round. Again, I want to make something different to everybody else. So this is 8x12. So what I've done, I've just, because it takes quite a while to extrude. Normally I would extrude them all on a board, bigger gun. But rather than you stand there watching me extrude, I've done 5 over the table. We've done there. I've just done a couple. So here I've got 5 over the table, and as you can see, they take ages to roll. Always have a brush. Just brush things off. So there we go. That's them rolled. They look probably a little bit darker on the. Well, not too bad on the video. They're a bit lighter green than actually comes over on the video. Like a grey, look browny on there, don't they? They're a bit more of a green tone to them, really. Obviously, the next thing will be to boil them and see how they dry, because it's all right making at this point. It looks quite good, but we need to see how it skins up and dries, which I'll have a go later on. I'll have a go on that. The other thing I want to just talk on, this bait, like I say, I want to do the opposite to everybody else. Most people will spend £2 or £3 a kilo on their ingredients. We all go in the shop and spend £10 or £12 on a kilo bag when we do go and buy them. So here, this is the complete other end. I think this bait will work out round about, in ingredient and flavour, it will cost about £10 a kilo in powder. So I reckon £10–11 a kilo. So I'm right at the other end of the extreme. But like I say, I only want to use a few. So I'll use handfuls at a time when I've done them. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll put the boiling pot on and we'll boil them and see how they boil, and we'll go down that route. I've just finished these off, but you're only going to be seeing me, and probably see me do a few more, and go from there, really. Okay, right, I've finished rolling where you saw up to. I've ended up with, basically, we've got, just weighed them, approximately 700 grams from that 520 grams of paste. So, like I say, a kilo should give us about 1.4 kilo, which is about normal with the base mix. So they seem to have rolled fairly well. These are obviously only a little 8x12 nuggets. Seem to have formed all right. I left them overnight to dry, and which I did quite a bit actually as well. That overnight to dry works quite well on pop-ups and wafters, skins up a little bit. Got boiling pot on to boil. I mean, really, they only need 45 seconds to a minute. I'd have thought this, and you can see through the steam. Right, so we'll get them in, and I'll put the timer on. Just get that on. Right, so like I say, well, I only need a light bit of boiling. What we need to do is, obviously we don't know, make sure that the bait when it's dry that it actually sinks, because the last thing you want to do is making loads of base mix and it floats. So until they're dry, we can't tell that, whether we need to adjust anything. From a rolling point of view, it seemed to work really well, so I'm happy with that. And we'll see where we are with that. But we'll have to have a look tomorrow regarding the drying. I think we're nearly up to the 45 seconds. That'll do with that. Can't get it to stop. So they boiled. I mean, I'm only fishing these in the margin, so I don't need them very hard anyway. So let's tip them out. And we can see what these are like. I mean, I can do a mix if I'm happy that these consistencies are right, I'll have a go at doing some round ones, but I don't really want round ones for what I'm thinking of using them for. So obviously we've got hemp, milk proteins, all squid from the fish wise, and tigered up really with vitamins, minerals, amino acids. They'll dry a little lighter, I would have thought, by the morning. Other options, basically, after I bumped my head, other options could be done on this. I was thinking we'd probably substitute squid meal for krill and use it all krill, or even tuna or any other fish, and possibly change a few other mixes like some spices, or like robin red, or even use paprika, sweet paprika instead of robin red, that type of thing. So I've worked costing out this morning, and really with what I've got is powder. We've got basically about, including eggs, about £12 is in that mix, just under 12 quid, working on small quantities of ingredients. So really you're talking a 12 quid will give you about 1.4 kilos of bait. It's a lot more expensive than obviously what you're normally working on, but it's still cheaper than what you buy in a fishing tackle shop, and you ain't going to get a bait anywhere near like that sort of thing anywhere, I would have thought, full stop. So we'll get a whirl, see how it dries for tomorrow, and see you tomorrow. Cheers. Mark Chillam here again. I've decided what I'm going to do with the other half of the kilo of mix and powder I made up earlier on. I just make some 12mm round ones, just to make sure it does actually work round. So I'm going to rattle a few off, we'll put them on the thing. We've got about 18 sausages. I'll put the 12mm table on. This will, whether it will work or not, we don't know. But at the end of the day, we've got 18 sausages. I'm going to put the timer on actually, so you can actually see how long these will take us to rattle off. We'll do, I mean, obviously bear in mind we haven't rolled these ones in round. We only do them in the 8 to 12 dumbbells we did yesterday, didn't we? So let's see what we've got here. So we'll get the odd one will stick to the lid. Take the ones we ain't happy with that. Bits off the end possibly. Something like that, look pretty good. So I can always say brush your hands, because sometimes if the bait's not that oily, they'll stick a little bit and you just wash them off. If you're quite crafty, you can put them, probably snap the sausages off a little short, so you could have made them a lot longer, which would have made it a little bit quicker and easier. Again, that one on the lid. You will find that if you put too many close together, sometimes you'll get them sliding. So that's about 8. This mix looks pretty cool. I think it's got some mileage. I think I'll give it a go. But like I said earlier, the 12 pounder I was on about is actually ingredients, and I'm not looking at actually making this to sell, or even sell the ingredient. Nothing really. It's just for my own bait. The whole benefit is showing people how they can make their own bait, but rather than go cheap, do something that nobody else is going to be doing. Really? I think probably if you increase the oil, hemp seed oil, could probably go up a little bit. It might be a little bit, but overall, I think it's rolled really well. we find it's a little soft, we could increase the egg albumin a little bit on the whey gel. I'll keep a little bit these bits back, and I'll have a bit of paste. So we've got it. That's the last bit really. So that's finished. So there we go. What's that? 3 minutes 40 seconds, and I know that from this is off the mix. There's going to be 700 grams there. Not bad going for a manual table. But like I say, I'm going to boil these, being as the water's hot from earlier, to see how they dry, and I'll come back and we'll see how they've dried all up and skinned all up and everything. So thank you very much. Speak to you later.